Well, the 2021 running of Dirt Cup has officially begun. This is gonna be night number 1 of the event. Welcome back to today's video. Tonight we are here at the Skagit Speedway for night number 1 of Dirt Cup. This racetrack is a 1/3 mile clay oval, and it's located here about an hour from the Canadian border at the very tippy top of the Pacific Northwest. Now, like I've talked about in previous videos of the Skagit Speedway, this is one of my favorite and most comfortable racetracks to run in a sprint car. And to summarize the Dirt Cup for anybody that's never heard of this event, $15,000 on the line, 3 action-packed nights of racing all at the same facility, upwards of 10,000 fans in the grandstands, and also a great on-track product. So we're gonna be competing tonight with the ASCS National Tour. I think they're expecting anywhere between 50 and 60 360 sprint cars. We're gonna get the night started, and here's one more look at the beautiful Skagit Speedway. Hot laps are over. To kind of inform you guys on our ASCS format, so it's all pill draw and positioning for qualifiers. So tonight we pulled the 91 pill out of 100, which means we are going to start deep in our heat race. We're going to be rolling off from 9th out of 10 cars in heat race number 1. Maybe starting deep wouldn't be too bad, but being in that first heat race, especially with our track conditions, it is very, very wet. We were probably not even over half throttle in our hot lap session. The GoPro got covered. I pulled a handful of tear-offs. Walking out here to the race car, you can kind of see the same result after hot laps. So now we're going to be rolling off from 9th in our heat race. We need to try to pass as many cars as possible to lock into a qualifier. We have 46 360s tonight. They're taking the top 40 in passing points out of the 46 to qualifiers. So starting 9th, the goal is to try to pass 2, 3, or 4 race cars in the heat race. Well, a frustrating start to our Dirt Cup. Carly's checking stagger. Carly, how hooked up is the racetrack?
Pretty hooked up, I'm thinking.
Indeed it is. It is so hooked up, guys, wide open, and we ended up starting 9th and ran up to 8th. So we didn't really run up a lot of positions, but nobody really moved. It's just wide open. Any spots you gain on the first lap, then everyone really single filed out. It was tough to make up ground because everyone is just so even. But that is really just what happens when you have a bad pill draw, the racetrack's hooked up, and you start in the back of one of the early heat races. I'll give you guys an update on where we're gonna start in the qualifier. They still have 4 more 360 heat races to go, and it was already starting not to slicking off, but the grease was burning off, so I'm sure the track's gonna run in. Just unfortunate that we went out so early. Well, I can already tell it's gonna be a quick night here at Skagit. They're calling qualifiers and heat races just finished up. We went 9th to 8th, and now in the qualifier, we're gonna start 9th. So it was nice that we squeaked into a qualifier because they took the top 40 out of 46 in passing points, which I know what you're thinking, like, Tanner, what do you mean you just squeaked in? How is that just a good thing? Like, obviously it's a good thing, but we wanted to do much better. But with the track conditions and everything that was thrown at us, I feel like we literally did the best we could. After about 1 or 2 corners, everyone single filed out and there was no passing. So it is starting into slicking off after all the heat races, so we're gonna have a better surface, but every qualifier is good, and we just gotta try to go as far forward as possible, because the combined points between the heat races and qualifiers, they're gonna take the top 16 in combined points to the A main event. And right now we're probably sitting around 34th or 35th, so we're not gonna think too much about the heat race, put that behind us. Now we just gotta try to go forward in our qualifier, try to make the race car a little bit better. I talked about it being so tight and really hard on the right rear, and we just could not get the race car to turn. So we're gonna make some last minute adjustments. I'm gonna hop back in because we are one of the early qualifiers with ASCS. Well, our qualifier is over here for night number 1 of the Dirt Cup with the ASCS National Tour. We did go +2 there, so at least we passed a couple of cars. I thought we were gonna run 6th. A couple guys in front of me got together coming off of turn number 4. I got like a 2 for 1 because they bobbled. And then I think it was a blue and black 21 car. He kind of drove back underneath me and stole the spot. But now we're gonna check out our race car. I talked about it not handling great there in the heat race, and part of why we thought that was just because of how hooked up it was and we were just too tight. And also when we were here earlier in the season, I think it was May 22nd, we complained about the race car just being very hard on the right rear. And it was weird. Like, I'd get in the corner, and once it got on the right rear, it was stuck. I couldn't get it off. I couldn't get the car to wing down and roll through the corner. And it all depends on the type of driver you are, but I just cannot drive the car. But this almost feels even more extreme. So for example, entering 1 and 2 in that qualifier, I would enter good and didn't feel bad, but I had to be on it because when I was down below it, I was just too free. But the second I hit the dark, the grip, my right rear catches it, I don't feel like I accelerate forward. It just falls over and I'm stuck and I'm just drifting towards the fence. We're also putting a new front bumper on because on the start they all got together and then that pushed mine up into my front nose. But we're going through the race car to see what could be possibly wrong, possibly a bad torsion bar or something, because it doesn't even feel setup related. We're pretty dialed in at Skagit and the car just does not want to do what we want it to do. So it makes it extremely frustrating. At least we went forward though in the qualifier. Well, our B main event's up next. We are going to be rolling off from 5th. They're going to be taking 3, and they have it split into 2 B mains. So I believe we were like 10 spots out in as far as points wise. So it just goes to show every point matters, or pill draw matters, a combination of everything. You really got to put it together. So we tried to change some things around and see if we could find the problem. We're not going to know until we get out there. If we did find the problem, our car's going to drive much better and we can definitely transfer. But no matter what, like I've been doing all night long, I'm just going to drive it as hard as I can and see what results we can get. But like I said, if we did find the problem, we're going to be good. We start 5th, they're going to take 3, so it's going to be important just to, make all of our moves early on in the race and, try to check out and get some distance between us and the rest of the field. Well, some good news and some bad news. The good news is I think we found our problem and our car ran much better there in the B main event. The bad news is we did not transfer through. I ended up starting 5th and ran 5th. Had a pretty good battle with the 56 car, the 37, and ultimately I just made too many mistakes. I've talked about it all night long. Things have not really went in our favor, and I never want to use that as an excuse. I just, bring it up here on the vlog because that sometimes is just dirt track racing. But also, man, we've been fighting the 18T all night long to just try to get it where we want it. We really thought that there had to be a problem somewhere and something not correct because our team has a pretty good notebook for this place. We ran Skagit and something just not be correct. We have a very good notebook for this place. We actually won a race here in the 360, my first ever 360 win of my career. That was Labor Day of 2020, and then we came back here in May, and it was like everything we've learned and everything we've done was kind of just out the window because we struggled there in May and we struggled here tonight. And we finally got some good laps in, and like I said, we felt much better in the B main event. The crew and everyone said the car looked much better because it was almost so bad that you can just watch the car go around the place and it just does not look like it's doing what it's supposed to do. Really hard on the right rear, not really turning through the corner, and just every single time I hit the curb, it just falls down. So that was a struggle for tonight. Anyway, the A main event is up, so we're gonna go watch that, try to take some notes. It's crazy here with the national guys how much taller the curb is than like a weekly show, and it's pretty treacherous. So I think it's gonna be a good battle up front. We'll try to take some notes because hopefully tomorrow night, we want to have a much better one and put it in the show and contend for a win. Well, we are all loaded up for the night here at Skagit. Check out all this merchandise we have. I gotta give a shout out to Robbie Price. My merchandise got shipped to Shark, and then he brought like 10 or 11 boxes to the track and dropped it off, so we were able to sell hoodies and t-shirts this weekend. Definitely not how we wanted to start the Dirt Cup. We came off Ohio Speed Week. We came off that good run at Muskegon County where I felt like we gained some confidence, and going into Dirt Cup, a place I have a lot of laps here at Skagit, and ran with ASCS a couple of times. We had high hopes to start the weekend, and things just did not go our way. We battled the car all night long. We did not get a good pill draw. In the B main event there, I think I definitely could have transferred, so I need to do my job a little bit better, and we also had the race car better. We kind of found our issue, which we kind of mentioned, possibly bad torsion bars in the rear. So we changed that. We made some other setup changes. I think we're going to be able to get the car better and better. Now that we're not going to be fighting as many problems, we have it closer to the feeling that I'm looking for. And that was one thing we kind of talked about in our B main debrief and like nightly debrief. One of the things in the B, when I kind of came off the racetrack, I felt like it was better, but I wasn't sure if that was exactly what we were looking for, like maybe other changes we could do to help me. But I also feel like here at the Skagit Speedway in 2021, every lap around this place has not been that good because we battled a similar issue when we were here in May. So it's almost like we were so screwed up looking for this feeling around this racetrack in particular that I almost lost what that feeling is like, and now it's just like trying to find it, if that makes sense. So we didn't make the show. We were kind of behind the 8 ball all night long. We're just chasing the race car, chasing the 18T, and I want to give a shout out to Roger, my dad, and Carly, as well as the rest of the crew for not giving up and, trying to find the issue and working it out and not letting that get our race team down, because we had high spirits all night, but man, our results and, just everything combined tonight was just a little bit rough. But the great part is we have 2 more nights for Dirt Cup, so we're looking forward to the Friday night showing tomorrow. Huge shout out to our sponsors, Lafarge, Carson Oil, Next Gen, Fast 4 Media, OMA KTM, Pit Stop USA, Earth Environmental. We also have QRC, On-Site Screeners, Durango RV, ABC Powder Coating, Ferguson, Swindell Speed Lab, and everyone that supports the 18T. Tomorrow I'm hoping to get a couple more on-track shots throughout the night. They don't really take breaks for us to walk up to the track, but you guys did see that clip of what the racetrack looked like after the 25 lap feature tonight, and it was super wide, super slick, kind of faster around the top than the bottom. I was hoping they'd maybe work it a little bit, but they didn't. But a lot of sliders, mainly from 5th place on back. The top 5 did not change a lot throughout the A main event, but we're hoping just to continue to see better surfaces, hopefully a better pill draw tomorrow, and hopefully the 18T is much better, and I'm on my A game for us to chase a Dirt Cup preliminary night A main event victory. See you guys all in the next one though, and thank you for riding along with me. Deuces.